Yo, yo! Good morning, and good morning, champions. My name is Marquise Money Mike Williams, and I would like to welcome you to Saturday morning training. I'm super duper fired up right now. We are at the end. It's like a couple minutes left in the half. It's almost time to go in for halftime, and only you know where you stand in the game. Are you up? Are you getting blown out right now? Either way, it matters. But what matters is how you end the game. 2024 started with a game plan, right? And you came out, and some of you might have executed that game plan. Some of you came out and you started good, and then you got punched in the mouth. Only you know where you're at. But the key is to stay focused, make the proper adjustments, and come out and crush it to end the year. And that's what we want to talk about today. It's halftime, how you can actually go out and crush it to end the year. So for those of you who don't know me, my name's Marquise Money Mike Williams. And I always want you to remember, no matter what, always remember the difference between amateurs and professionals is training, right? You could be as excited as you want to be. You could be as pumped, fired up, lit, whatever generational word that you want to use. But if you don't know what you're doing, then you'll never reach the success that you desire. You'll never get the results. You'll never maximize your potential. So you got to know what to do, but you also got to have the right IQ and the right mindset to be able to execute on the skill sets of what to do. All right. So I always like to welcome all the new champions to our team who joined during this week. We're always fired up to have you guys connected and plugged in. The foundation of what we do. We talk about a lot of things. You may see a lot of things, but it's all about exposure. All right? It's all about exposure. It's not about convincing. It's not about twisting anybody's arm. It's not about, being a snake oil salesman. It's all about exposing. And you do that through promotions. You promote to expose them to what we have to offer. And that's what being a marketing brand ambassador or even just an affiliate is all about. You're promoting the brand, you're promoting the products, you're promoting the services, you're promoting the opportunity so that you can expose the people to what we got. And the people who want what we got is going to raise their hand and say, hey, I want to rock with you. And then we're going to grab them and run with them and teach them how to expose and promote as well. We have a very simple launch strategy. Talking about amateurs and professionals. Amateurs join businesses. Professionals launch their business. So we want to help you launch your business. And it all starts with doing these 3 simple things. I like to say success with JMG is simple as 1, 2, 3. If you always keep these 3 things in your mind, then you'll always have a baseline to go back to make sure that you're reaching the success that you desire. So you want to first make one decision that you want something more out of life, but more importantly, you're willing to do the work that it takes to get it. The moment that you make this decision, the devil's going to come after you. The moment that you make this decision, you're going to start experiencing things that happen in your life. You're going to experience heartache. You're going to experience family and friends that act shady. You're going to experience things financially. Things are going to come after you. You're going to start to go through the storms, right? Because the biggest thing the devil wants you to do is to think that it's not possible for you, to think that you don't deserve to be successful, to think that this thing isn't going to work. It doesn't matter that everything else in the world that's going on around us is shaky and doesn't work. They want you to think that the solution doesn't work. And I'm here to tell you that the solution works. So no matter what you're going through, that's why we have training. That's how we have the presentations. That's why your sponsor Upline is there for you, to make sure that you have a resource, that you have a support network to go through, so that when you question that decision, that you got to get back on track. I look in the mirror every day and I make this decision every single day because I know what I want. Quick story. When I first seen a presentation, right, it was with Mr. Jones, the owner of our company. And I never forget, at the end, I went up to him and I thought I was stumping him. I was only a kid. I was fresh out of college. And I was like, Mr. Jones, what if it doesn't work? I gave him a little skull like I was Arnold drumming from Different Strokes, right? He didn't even flinch. He just kind of rolled back on his heels. Anybody who knows Mr. Jones, he's tall, right? And I'm kind of short, so I was looking up to him. He kind of rolled back on his heels with his hands in his pocket. And he said, that's a good question, young brother. But what you should be asking yourself is, what if it does? He said, if it doesn't work, then you already know what life looks like. You see it all around you. You see it in the statistics. You see it, when they talk about different income levels and what do you call that? Middle class, class levels. There you go. Boom. He said, but if it does work, then you'll be able to live the lifestyle that you not only deserve, but that you desire, that only 10% of the population is able to live. I said, I'll take the odds any day of the week. So when you're looking at yourself and you're making that one decision that you want something more out of life, don't make the decision based on what you feel like you have in your account. Don't make that decision based on your bandwidth. Don't make that decision based on what you think is possible. Make that decision based on the fact that if you don't do something different, then you're not going to get anything different. And if you don't have some type of secondary income stream, some type of side hustle, part-time business, then the level of inflation grows faster than the rate of your income. So guess what? You're hustling backwards. You're losing money every single day. You're working, but you're losing. And that's designed to make sure that you fail. But once you make that decision, and obviously I spent some time on that because that's the most important aspect of it. Everything in life starts with a decision. Now the simple part, you want to gather 2, preferably My Credit is Better customers, but 2 customers all the same. If you're a marketing brand ambassador, you come in with half of that taken care of. You get My Credit is Better for free. That's your one customer. So now all you got to do is take your spouse, take your significant other, take your mama, take your daddy, whoever it is, turn that My Credit is Better on, and you have those 2 customers. You're halfway done with the launch process, okay? Now, if it's not My Credit is Better, don't feel better. Go ahead and grab you a Luster Shine. Go ahead and grab you something else, preferably this auto ship, so that you don't have to worry about it. You can set it and forget it, right? And then you're qualified. You got qualification taken care of with your own responsibility. That way you don't have to worry about somebody's car getting stolen or something happening in their auto ship being turned off. I have an auntie and my grandmother, and they live together. They're my customers, right? I was talking to my auntie the other day. She was telling me my grandmother's card got lost or something like that, and she was gonna have to turn it off. And I was like, yeah, auntie, don't forget that you got that My Credit is Better, in that card, because when people said it, even if they're using a product, they don't always think about it consciously. So even though it would have got fixed, if that dropped me below my qualification, I can't call JMG Direct and say, hey, my grandma's car got stolen, and that's why I fell below the customer threshold. So can you send me that check? It doesn't work that way. It's your responsibility to make sure that you stay qualified. All right. Very important. So if you're not qualified, let's get you qualified this weekend. All right. And then last but not least, you want to partner with 3 people. All right. 3 people. This allows you to create leverage. See, at a job, you're the only person responsible for your income. So if something happens to you, God forbid, something can happen to your income. Now, I'm not saying anything against jobs. If you got one, more power to you. I mean, you actually should really be thankful, because there's a lot of people out there who are not working right now or are working below their means. But I'm simply stating the fact of leverage versus not having leverage. And if you don't have leverage, whether it's a job or you own your own business like a barber or something like that, then you want to put yourself in a position where you have leverage. And partnering with 3 people in JMG Direct gives you the ability to create leverage. And you want to teach them to do the same thing. Make a decision and get qualified. It's just that simple. You stay focused on that launch strategy, you're going to see your business start to grow. So during training today, if you have any questions, I want you to make sure that you go ahead and ask them. All right. This is your safe space. This is our prosperity community. That's why training is reps only, because I want to make sure that you guys understand that you can ask questions during training. So as I said, we're talking about halftime today, and I want to help you crush the rest of the year, because it's your time. This is your time to make the income that you want and desire. This is your time to be able to buy the things that you want to buy. This is your time to be able to set things up and create generational wealth for you and your family. This is your time for whatever it is that you desire, you want. But it all starts with following directions. See, the system and the strategies that we've implemented, they're put in place for a reason, all right? They're put in place because people before you came and they bumped their head doing things the wrong way. They came and bumped their head and got cussed out by people saying the wrong things. They came before you and lost friends because they treated people a certain type of way instead of treating people with love and respect. So the system is proven because it's been tried and true, all right? And I want to make sure that as you're going through this, some of the things that are going to come against you are 1, pride, and 1, fear. So if you look at the definition of pride, it's consciousness of one's own dignity, right? If you look at the definition of fear, it's an unpleasant emotion caused by the belief that someone or something is dangerous, likely to cause pain or a threat. Fear is also an acronym that stands for false evidence appearing real. So these are things that we found in creating our system and our strategy that are typically the only things that hold people back from being successful. Your own pride and your own fear. And it's important for you to understand that God is no respecter of persons. If he could do it for Money Mike, if he could do it for Mr. Paul D. Jones, if he could do it for someone else, then he can and will do it for you. So I want each and every one of you to understand that you can do this business. You just have to make the one decision to do it. So let's take a little deeper look into pride, because a lot of times when people have pride, they don't realize that they have pride, right? A lot of times when people are fearful, they don't realize that they're being fearful. I mean, they have obvious things that they're scared of and they recognize because they have no choice but to, if you're afraid of dogs, you can't hide that you're afraid of dogs, because if a dog comes, you run it. But there's things in life that people sometimes, their pride doesn't allow them to admit that they're afraid of. But let's talk a little bit about a few things that may help you recognize that you're being prideful. Pride says, I'm going to follow most of these directions, but I'm going to put my spin on it, right? It's important for you to realize that the directions are the directions. Why reinvent the wheel because you're trying to put your spin on it? Pride also says, the people I know fill in the blank, right? I used to get a lot of people I work with back in Minnesota, right? They'll say, the people I know won't do this because whatever, right? The people I know, they're not going to understand this because they're professional people, right? Whatever the case may be, you miss 100% of the shots that you don't take. You may possibly be right? But show them anyway, because there may be factors that you don't know about. There may be things that are going on in their lives or their households that may have them open to what typically they may not be open to. So even though the people you know fill in the blank, show them anyway, because you're also planting the seed. So if that condition changes later, that they're going to think about you and they're going to have a solution to the problem right when the problem arises. All right? Pride also says everything has to be perfect before I go talk to the people I know. That's also known as the as soon as disease. As soon as this happens, I'll go talk to the people that I know. As soon as that happens, then I'll go out and blow it up. You got to have a vision. Nothing is perfect, but together we can make it great. Don't forecast problems, all right? When you look at major corporations that have endured problems and PR nightmares, they didn't stop operations until the problem was fixed. They made a statement, hey, we're going to fix the issue. We apologize, we're going to fix the issue. And then they went out and kept doing business while they fixed the issue, right? Case in point, the BP oil spill back in the day. That was tragedy. A lot of people boycotted BP Amoco after that, right? But did they stop selling gas? No. They went out, they started working on fixing the issue, and they kept selling gas. And now most people don't even remember that. The Michelin tire issue, when all the tires were blowing out, there was a bad batch of tires, right? Did they stop selling tires? No, they didn't stop selling tires. They kept selling tires. They recalled all those bad tires. They took the financial hit, and then they kept selling tires while they fixed the issue, right? So I'm saying that to say, you aren't going to be perfect. I'm not going to be perfect. JMG Direct is not going to be perfect, but we're a great thing. And if we have any issues, I promise you, we're going to fix the issues. But don't let that stop you from building and being consistent and stop your momentum, all right? Because sometimes people aren't even going to see the same issues that you see. There's thousands, millions of people who didn't even have an idea that there was an oil spill by BP Amoco, but they still just kept pumping gas, had no idea. Same thing, people had no idea of the Michelin tire blowouts. People had Michelin tires that didn't blow out. So don't think just because you see it that everybody else sees it, all right? Don't let it stop you, because here's the reality. Mr. Jones has millions of dollars invested in JMG Direct. Mr. Jones has a staff, has consultants, have employees that are dedicated and here to make sure that this machine is successful. So why would he do something that jeopardizes that, right? So trust and believe. He has more vested than all of us. But for him to win, we have to win. So he's going to make sure that everything's in place for us to win. We got to use our common sense a lot of times, right? I know it's not that common, but sometimes we got to just think about the logic and look at the reality for ourselves. You could be comfortable or hungry, but you cannot be both. Right? So let's look a little bit at what fear says, right? And I know today's a little bit of an unorthodox training than normal, but I want you guys to understand that sometimes you can you can have all the skills, you can know what to do, but if you don't have the mindset and the IQ behind how to implement and what to do, then you're not going to win, right? It's funny, I think about sometimes you go to church. And when the church especially when you go to the prosperity church, when they're not talking about how to make money and how to win, when they're talking about grace and when they're talking about, things in the Bible, a lot of people, oh, I don't want to hear this. I want to hear about how I can make some money. But it's those things about grace and those things about faith that are going to help you succeed in making the money, right? So let's talk about what fear, things to recognize when you're being fearful. Fear says, I'm not ready. And I want you to understand the directions don't require for you to be ready. They require you to follow them to get where you said you wanted to go. Because everybody gets started and we ask you, what's your why? What's your reasons, right? And those reasons are typically things that you desire that you're not able to get with where you are in life. During the presentation, we often ask, where do you want to be in the next few years? And is what you're currently doing right now going to get you there? And typically people join because they recognize that what they're currently doing right now is not going to get them there. Fear also says my lack of action is okay because I'm tired. I worked all day. These kids are running me rampant, whatever the case may be. Fear says I'll do it tomorrow. Fear says the people won't join because there's not a period of punctuation on the website. People won't join because Marquise is bald-headed when he does the presentation. They don't like bald-headed people. People should join because they recognize that what 95% of the population is doing is not working, right? And that's not me, that's statistics. If you look up the cash flow quadrant, it says 95% of the population will live, work, and die fighting for 5% of the wealth. I would say that's not working. Now, there's a lot of people out there who are in that 95%, and they make a wide variety of income. Some people make 6 figures, some people make 7 figures, but they're still fighting for 5% of the wealth. They just have a lot of the 5% of the wealth. So income is not the same as cash flow. Just because you make high income doesn't mean you have high cash flow. And we want you to have high cash flow, meaning you have more money coming in than you have going out. The business is proven, it works. You just have to work it. So the big picture is you got to run your $1 million business like it's $1 million business. All right. Let's take a look at that. Running a traditional business, because a lot of people talk about they want to run a traditional business. Nothing wrong with running a traditional business. It's awesome. I've been a business owner. I'm currently a business owner. I know business owners. But when you think about running a traditional business, it's usually an initial investment, $20,000 to over $1 million, right? Running a traditional business is expensive, right? And if you have a storefront, you got build outs, you got plans, you got products, you got employees you got to take care of. Typically, that's $50,000 plus that you're shelling out just to take care of those things. You got marketing and promotion. It could be anywhere from $1,000 to $10,000 per month. If you have a storefront, you got rent and utilities, online hosting that could be anywhere from $500 to $5,000 a month. And people are willing to put up this type of money and roll the dice on less than 50% success rate odds just to have a piece of the American dream. And that's awesome. And a lot of times they do this because they don't know that there's another way, what I consider a better way, a less risky way. And that's the home business industry. That is James G Direct. So you look at running a James G Direct business. You join for $199.99 one time, $70 a month. You immediately get to lower your taxes and turn your expenses into deductions. That's huge. It becomes a free, nothing to lose business because you're writing off everything. Everything that you pay, your My Credit is Better. If you get Luster Shine, if you get You're a King, you're writing all that off at the end of the year. When you begin sharing your testimony, that's the power of word of mouth. Now you're attracting other people. You go out and you get 3 people to do the same thing. Make a decision to get qualified. Like we talked about earlier, you earn $195, $65 for each person when they gather their 2 customer points. You're almost in the black of your initial investment, right? You help those 3 people get 3 people, and it's all about the mindset. Each one teach one. Pay it forward. If you help enough people get what they want, you'll eventually get what you want. Do you see why there's truly nothing to lose and everything to gain? See, when you get this in your mind and in your heart, then you go out and you speak with people with conviction. You go out, you have more confidence, you have more fire and more motivation to talk to more people. But if you're looking at the business in the wrong light, if you're just looking at it as, that's a way to make a little bit of money, then you're not going to go out there and be motivated to talk to as many people. You're not going to go out there and say, I have an opportunity to make a difference in the economy, make a difference in the world. So it doesn't matter who's president of the United States, we are still going to make it happen. So in closing, all you have to do is stay focused. Focus is an acronym, stands for firmly on course until successful. I throw the ED on there to say every day. Gotta be consistent every single day. And don't let your fear of what could happen make nothing happen. One of the things that Mr. Jones taught me over the years of working with him is don't forecast problems. Well, what if somebody gets a luster shine and it doesn't work on their car? Well, we'll deal with that problem when it arises. It hasn't happened up to this point. So why spend the brain power thinking of a solution to something that hasn't and may never happen, right? But trust and believe, if it does happen, we're going to fix the issue and keep focusing on selling luster shine, because the business works. So always think positive. Stay focused on forward moving things that are going to help you achieve your goals. And don't think about what ifs, all right? In the negative. Think of what ifs and the positives. What if I get these 3 people and help them gather their 2 customers? What if I build a team of 7 levels deep and everybody has 2 customers? If you're going to think of what ifs, think of what ifs in the positive that are in alignment with your goals and dreams. Because it sounds cliche sometimes. And if you reach for it, you now have a vehicle to be able to obtain it. There's no ceiling in this deal. If you want to go out and blow it out the frame, then we are going to support you from a corporate level, from an upline level, from a sponsor level. We are going to help you win. Because the more you succeed, the more we succeed. And trust me, we want you to succeed. So it starts with getting people in front of the information. This Tuesday, I call it Wealthy Tuesdays because we got the Paul D. Jones Show and we got the Simple Wealth Blueprint. This week, since July 4th is on Thursday, this is going to be the only live presentation of the week. So let's pack it out. Let's get as many guests as we can lined up, plugged in, and in front of the information. I prefer it to be as many new reps. Go out today, tomorrow, Monday, sign up a bunch of people and get them on Tuesday and tell them to invite guests on Tuesday. But we want to increase the numbers because we got something beautiful here. We got something hot and lucrative. And it's flying under the radar right now. Let's put the world on notice. Continue to share the Paul D. Jones Show with people. This is a great resource for people to see the value in our ownership, his mindset, his knowledge and wisdom, and the value in locking arms and being a part of this company. So continue to use that as a tool. But I haven't seen any questions. I want to thank each and every one of you for plugging in. Always remember, we got these tools, replay.simplewealthblueprint.com, memoryjogger.simplewealthblueprint.com. Use them to your advantage and continue to consistently build your business every day. And as you're going out, your call to action is send out 10 invitations, plant 10 seeds per day. Utilize text messages, utilize getting them inbox, getting them DMs, get them on the phone. However you plant the seeds, however you communicate, plant 10 seeds every single day. This is going to lead to 2 people who raise their hand. I always have a saying, 2 people a day brings freedom my way. Set 5 appointments for the presentation this Tuesday. That means you have people who have committed. They said, I will be on. All right? Promote your online services, your online products through your online store every single day. Put up a post, make a comment, Do something, and with the ultimate goal to partner with 3 people this week. If you don't do anything else, always remember you are the best investment that you got. You were born to win. So play to win right now because you are already a champion. I got your back. I'll see you at the top, and I'll see you at the bank. Peace.